Hello everyone! It's been a while, but we finally have some news. Creative Assembly, through Josh, the influencer manager, has confirmed that there will be a live stream next week, which is going to cover, well, all the games, it seems. It's actually kind of, well, surprising, I'm not going to lie. So, let's read over it, and I'm going to have, like, timestamps in certain sections if there's anything that you want to go through. So, you may have heard me mention that we're working on a new stream for the end of this month, as it's the first of its kind. I wanted to give some context on what we'll be showing. So on April 30th at 3 p.m. BST, they'll be going live on like their Twitch, their YouTube, and Billy for their first ever Total War show and tell. Show and tells are something that they do internally where different development teams come together to share snippets of the cool things they're working on. And we wanted to try and extend an invitation to one of these publicly. So that's how the leaks happen, I guess. It's because it's going into different development teams. Oh boy, yeah, okay, that explains a little bit. Before we get into it, I just want to highlight that we'll be showing you in development footage, mostly running without UI. So what they're going to be showing here is literally, like they say here, right? Nothing seen in this stream will be final quality. So you see placeholders, broken textures all over the place, and this is something that they have been doing over on the Medieval Free streams. People seem to like them and they want to do that for every game, which makes sense. At the end of the day, I mean, it happens. I've been invited to a few games like early access and pre-announced and stuff, and yeah, there's broken textures and placeholders. I can't say exactly what games, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's just like a box, right? But it makes sense. Yeah, stuff like that is cool. It's early looks at loads of things, which I think is going to be good in terms of communication. We want to start off with Medieval 3. The Building Medieval 3 series is the best place for us to share our progress, and we don't want to try and cram one of these streams into 15 minutes. Instead, we're using this space to discuss our approach to rosters, using one faction as an example, and answer some top community questions, but look forward to our next dedicated medieval stream in the summer. Okay, so basically they're going to show us one of the rosters that they've kind of ironed out, likely one of the ones that's almost complete. Keep in mind stuff can actually change, and go into that, but then it's just going to be a small thing. That's cool. I want to know about combat, so if they're going to talk about rosters, they should be able to give us some detail about combat. They're going to be like small segments. They basically say here 15 minutes, so 15 minutes per game, I guess. And yeah, that's not too bad. At the end of the day, it's going to be a show and tell thing. It's nothing too big, right? Rome 2. So, surprise, we spoke last year and in the community inbox stream about wanting to return to some of our older titles and update them. Rome 2 is the first title we're doing this for, and we'll be sharing some plans of what you can expect to see. So we got this document a little bit early, you know, the usual, so we can do our videos and stuff, and I was pleasantly surprised. I actually ended up messaging Josh going, okay, yeah, no, that is an actual surprise. So I wasn't really expecting anything like this. I thought they were just going to bury this. I don't know what's in there. They haven't really said anything. To be fair, I didn't really ask. Not sure if he would have been able to tell me, but yeah, pleasantly surprised. This means that there's a chance that we could see some bug fixes coming into some older titles. Overall, there are some ones that are jumping into Three Kingdoms, which I would love to see fixed. But obviously, Rome 2 is the big one right now. There are a lot of bugs in Rome 2. So hey, who knows what they've got planned, but this could potentially be quite good. I do wonder, do they have like some sort of legacy team doing the updates for the older games? Must be, right? Warhammer 3, we've got a lot of news, so we'll start the discussion on a few bits about upcoming campaign AI changes and the Siege rework. So I'm hoping that this means either a beta or just some news, hopefully not a delay. A lot of people have been asking for the Siege rework lately. If you see certain posts, especially the Steam ones, you'll see a lot of people asking about the Siege rework. I think that that should be one of the priorities by Creative Assembly. And then let's continue. Before giving you the first look at Bhashiva in Engine, alongside the accompanying FLC Legendary Hero coming as part of Update 8.0. Cool. I mean, FLC Legendary Hero, everyone should be hyped, I guess. I know some people were expecting like a Lord or something, but yeah, I mean, if it's a smaller DLC, an FLC Hero makes sense, right? And Bhashiva in Engine, I'm really curious. Hopefully it's like an animation reel. I'd like to see like how she moves around. The big thing is just, I hope they don't do like what happened with Decala, where they just kept posting her video over and over again. But let's continue. There is actually more news for Warhammer 3, so that's all quite exciting. Then it's on to Lords of the End Times. We're thrilled to be introducing another legendary lord. Awesome. and we'll show some in-engine footage of them. Great, that means that, yeah, they should be fairly ahead there in terms of animation, alongside revealing a couple of the units included in their pack. Great, again, we didn't see a lot, like, I mean, well, it's probably going to be the same way, right? They'll probably show artwork. It would be nice if we saw them in-game, but who knows how far along they are with units. I imagine that they likely do the characters first, like the actual named characters, before they start going into the units. But, cool, this is all very good news. So, we're going to get a lot of information. I'm still kind of skeptical as to when Lords of the End Times will actually come out, but hey, happy to be proven wrong here. If they keep it to summer, then that'll be great. I'm just hoping that it's good. Bhashiva should be cool, though. I feel like I'm really curious about Bhashiva more so than Lords of the End Times, because Lords of the End Times, I mean, you know, we know what it is in terms of lore. We know what the End Times are. We can pretty much make educated guesses for units and characters, unless they really go into something left field. But Bhashiva, yeah, I think since he's brand new, I'm really curious to see how that goes. Total War 40k is also getting some news, which is a big surprise, so there's been a lot of discussion about the game's scale, so I wanted to take this opportunity to answer some of those questions. We'll be showing you the current development paths on planetary visuals, chatting about how we're tackling battling across an entire planet. Then we've got a few battle maps to fly around in, and we'll give you a proper look at the map featured in our trailer, alongside a look at some less dense maps. Okay, this is good because the planet stuff was really confusing, especially since a lot of information dropped behind a paywall article. You know, not keen on that, Creative Assembly. Maybe, you know, make sure that there's no paywall stuff when you're doing those interviews with game websites. It's just kind of helpful. Also, going to see a few battle maps. That's going to be very, very helpful. Again, we need to see what terrain's going to look like. They did say that there's going to be a lot of stuff in the battlefield, and I doubt that we're going to be seeing like terrain destroying and stuff right now, but it's more of the case of seeing how dense they're going to be, seeing how little or how large the battle maps were going to be. We likely won't get the full scope and scale regarding that, but the main thing is trying to find out just a little bit of a ballpark. They get too small, it's like Warhammer 3. They get too large, and it's like 3 Kingdoms. A middle ground would be great, but also just some small maps and large maps in general for certain iconic locations makes sense. I think that's really, really important here. The scale of 40k needs to be quite large, and battle maps need to be varied. Not the same issue that we had with Warhammer 3, where a lot of them were kind of nonsensical. I also want to see more terrain elevations in certain maps, depending on what the planet is represented by, you know, different biomes. It's really important they get this right. Not too much flat, but also not too inconsistent things like that random King of the Hill map. Alright, another community inbox is happening. Our first community inbox was well received, and we thought that this is a good place to slot in another. As the game directors would have already covered specific game bits, we'll have Roger answer some of the franchise level questions that you've emailed in. If you haven't dropped Roger an email before, we can't promise that if you did so today, it would make it to the stream next week. But they're saying that they've got Roger coming in again, and you can do so with Roger at totalwar.com, which is likely just like the dummy email. And that's not a bad thing, right? Because it's not like the work one. This is just so he can deal with this type of stuff. And it makes sense, because if not, then work would get flooded and he'd lose out on important work emails. But yeah, I'm keen on this. At the end of the day, it's important to keep communication running, even if it hasn't actually been so... Well, it hasn't just been a lot. They keep saying that they're going to talk more, and they haven't. Now they're just like kind of blasting through this. I'm not sure if I agree with a 15-minute segment type of thing, because it looks like 15-minute segments, right? They don't do very long streams. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, they did say here at the bottom, at the end of each segment, we'll also let you know when you'll hear more from each game. We're excited to show what we're working on and hope to see you there. And apparently this is going to be a one-off for now, but if we like the format and all that... tell them and they'll look to repeat it. Okay, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this is, I think, what a lot of people have been wanting. It has been very silent from the Total War front for a fair amount of time. So I feel like this is really going to have to be good. I'm hoping that Creative Assembly do realize that this needs to be good. Because, yeah, people have been losing their interest a little bit. And you can't blame them. You really, really can't blame them. Hey, I'm going to hope for the best. It's literally 1 week to go, so why not? Well, less than a week at the time of recording this video. So yeah, why not? Why not? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. And yeah, they're likely going to do a long ass stream, but I will have some just recaps and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.